Good morning, everybody. I thought I would come to you today from my paddleboard. I'm over here in Dedham and it's really peaceful. There's nobody around. The water's still, it's warm, the sun's out, and it's absolutely glorious. And sometimes I come here on the days where I really just need to be connected to nature. It has definitely been my saviour for the last 6 months. One of the best and most incredible investments I've ever made was in my board, and I'm delighted, and it's definitely supported me emotionally, mentally throughout this last 6 months. So just feeling really grateful, very lucky, very grateful, and very peaceful right now. Look how beautiful that is. I've bought cacao in my trusty old mug one more time. I'm just going to take a little sip of that. Oh, yum. Okay, so topic for today. I wanted to have a little chat with you about what it means to be fearful of the future and constantly in that space of being on edge, worried, and very anxious about not knowing what's to come. This is something that I've experienced, and I don't think it's necessarily an uncommon thing. I see it a lot in highly sensitive people, but also I think if you have a look at your human design chart, and if you've got your, I think it's number 57, that talks about fears, especially about the future. I think it's in the spleen area. And mine is activated, mine is highlighted. So when I realised that, I was like, oh, that's why I get so caught up in loops about what's coming next, what's going on. What's going to happen? Am I going to be okay? I'm absolutely fine right now. Is something going to happen in the future? And I can get into very deep looping around that, very negative thoughts. So if we use the analogy of the tree that I talked about yesterday, when you're down in that spiraling negative thought, it draws you down into the bottom of the tree, into the roots, and it can feel like you're stuck down there, that you can't get out, and that's all you know and that's all you can see. And you forget that there's the top of the tree, that actually you are both the whole tree, you're the whole tree. Anyway, I did tell you I was going to start talking about the whole of the tree and use that analogy more, and day 2 today I am, so I kept my promise. Anyway, I want to share with you some of the tools that I've used that have been really super helpful and supportive for me, specifically dealing with the fear of the future, or fears in general that make you feel like you're stuck in survival mode or feeling on edge. And the first one that I use, the most important one, is coming back to the present moment. Because fear of the future is basically you're spending all your time trying to anticipate what's coming, trying to anticipate what's going to happen, trying to anticipate all of the things that could potentially go wrong or go right, or what the logical outcome could be. And it's exhausting. But if you bring yourself back to being in the present moment, then it can have seriously positive and empowering effects. Especially in my experience, I've found that most of the solutions that have ever come up for me have always happened in the 11th hour, which means I never would have predicted them. I never would have been able to be that person to go, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. That was definitely the way this was all going to pan out, and I could see it. It doesn't happen like that for me. I have to stay as much as I can in the present moment and connect to myself, connect to my breath, calm my nervous system down as much as I can, so that I can really allow messages, inspiration, communication, intuition to arise from inside of me rather than my natural instinct, my fear. When it arises, it makes me want to go outwards. It makes me want to look at other people, places and things for solutions rather than allowing them to come from within. There's some really cute dogs who've just jumped in the river down there and they're splashing around. That is lovely, isn't it? Being able to see animals in their state of bliss and pure happiness. I can really relate to that today. And then coming back to being in nature for me is really, really important too. Being able to see that there is something bigger than just the smallness of my mind, because I can get so stuck in the minute detail, the smallness of my mind. And being out here in nature really, really is supportive and helpful for, oh, my arm's going all funny. Supportive and helpful for creating a bigger picture and perspective, bringing me back to the top of the tree, helping me to understand and see that it's not just all about the minute detail, the fear. Fear constricts, contracts, brings you in, and that's when you stop being able to have access to wider amounts of information and solutions and choices. So I use I use things like an essential oil like jasmine, and I put it in the middle of my wrist, in between the tendons. I can't really point to it right now, but you can bring both of your wrists together and gently hold it together once you've put the jasmine on your wrists. And jasmine is the oil of trust, so it helps you to come back to trusting. Frankincense is about time, so if you put some frankincense on your third eye, it can help you reorientate yourself in time, bringing yourself back to the present moment rather than always projecting out into the future. And I use coriander seed on CV8 to nourish that space within me that sometimes feel really on edge and aggravated and anxious and worried. You know, that space where you tend to get irritable bowel or upset stomach when you're worried. And that's because it's all activating that space there. So let me know if you can relate to having fears of the future, that it comes up for you. What do you do when it comes up for you? I really recommend you practicing either a guided visualization. I've got a couple in my link in my bio, check that out. A guided visualization, especially for people who struggle with busy heads and looping thoughts, a visualization is really effective for helping to listen to something, tune into something else. And if you're comfortable with that, then breathing into the belly, allowing, sensing, whole body breathing, allowing the whole body to come back to the present moment, bringing your thoughts back to the present moment. If you're not sure what that means or how that works, drop me a little message underneath and I can do another video specifically about that. But I don't want to teach you or share with you stuff that you already know. So just let me know. In the meantime, I am going to be doing from Monday 21 days of inspiring and expanding calls, which are not actually calls, they're an email with a recorded message, 5-minute short recorded message. And the aim is to help you feel strong and confident and remember who you are and to feel really, really comfortable within yourself. So have a lovely, lovely day. Oh, if you want to sign up for the emails, the link is in my bio. You can do it that way. I'll put the link in the comments as well, so you've got that there. And you can listen to it as many times as you want, come back to it whenever you want. And we'll talk about coming back to the present moment in that too, remembering that the magic happens right here, right now on this board, not tomorrow, not in a week's time or a month's time, but right here with my cacao on my board on the river. All right, have a lovely day, and I will see you later. Take care, lots of love.